Good afternoon, everybody. It's me. It's Schmuel Buckman. So I'm here on a Friday afternoon because James Baumert begged me to do this. So I'm here to do it because whenever Baumert asks, you comply. So that's it. All right, great show. See you later. No, hey. All right. So we got 8 people here. Once again, I will say that your choices to watch entertainment are, as they say, many. And I know we're on up against one of the big fellas. So I am very happy to say that I'm doing it. I'm doing it anyway. So let's get shit moving here and see what we can do. All right. I got that. I think we should be all set. And let's get this shit on the road. Good afternoon. All right. So the Aussie guy is here. Only Genta is here. This little piggy blues. That's not over yet. Oh, between this little piggy and the KB, I'm shocked that I'm getting to be here. We've got the Aussie guy, jealous that Balmer doesn't beg him for anything. Metal Gear is solid. I wouldn't be concerned about Pat Dixon. He doesn't even own a pillow. I think Pat's doing fine, doing fine. Wish Panhandler had a Twitter. It's not at Mr. Panhandler. Is he still there? Oh, look at that. The cuties are in the chat. And let's just see. Lady KB for the Buck Mafia. Thank you, Lady KB, for being on here. I got my boy Bustelo Mazzarati going on. Rover 4353. Once again, as I like to say, Rover, aces in my book. Rover is actually one of the good guys. And of course, the Tojo show, though. And excuse me, Tojo, thank you for being here too. So we're gonna get into Pat and the story with Pat very shortly. But first, I wanted to touch base a little bit on the Mersh meltdown. Mersh has said he's coming after me, so I can't wait. I'm really looking forward to that. In any event, there's not a lot that's going on. I think it's kind of been a boring time in the Dabbleverse, has it not? Isn't that what everyone says? So let's just see if I can play this real quick, and hopefully it will come through. Gosh darn. It doesn't play. That's all right. We're cool. We're cool. So and there's an issue with my Stream Deck. Why is it not playing? Where's Echo the Trader? He said he would be watching. Lady KB is still wet from yelling at you, Schmuel. I kind of, ooh, he's right. Lady KB likes it when little men talk, correct her, as they like to say. Lady KB, you're a flirt. Yes, there is. Very quickly, just get some shit out of the way. It is Schmuel Buckman on YouTube. We're here for your entertainment pleasure this Friday afternoon. I know I said I was going to come back last night, but I chose not to. I actually wanted to get Professor Panhandler on with me to talk about this, but he was not available. Uh, as a matter of fact, he said he was going to sleep, which I thought that's a hell of an idea. So I'll do the same myself. And I did. And I did. All right. We've got a new screen added, a little portable screen that I uh, scrounged up from somebody. So I should be able to see while we're doing this your super tips at supertip.gg/Buckman and your dabble tips at dabbletip.com/Buckman will be appearing live. Um, I put my preacher voice into dabble tip and I want to see if it works. But I think it will, but it's not coming across as I had really wanted. Um, I took an old Jimmy Swaggart and a another guy named A. Allen and put that, use their voices to create a voice, and so it was pretty good. Hit like and subscribe for dabble tips. Thank you, Genta. Um, uh, Panhandler equals fake annoyed. Every now and then I wonder if Pan is fake annoyed, but I got to tell you, um, he really is annoyed. Uh, A. Allen stinks, probably because he's been dead for about 25 or 30 years. Um, did anyone else, Diablo Sandwich, did anyone else catch the TLP morons giving flimsy shit for Super Shout? No, I didn't, but we'll have to do it. A. Allen. So you guys know like Jimmy Swagger, like that's a name you know. But A. Allen was a guy long before Jimmy, and A. Allen used to do tent revivals pretty much across, I would say, the western half of the United States. The guy had a magazine, which is how you got in touch with people back in those days. And AA was one of those wild Bible thumping preachers. AA also died of alcohol poisoning alone in a hotel room in San Francisco. Uh, so that's AA Allen. You can't want to be on every show and then annoyed to be there. Just the western half, Schmuel. Yeah, I think he stayed. Was it west of the Mississippi? And Kim Boley, it's Schmuel. Hi, Kim. Glad you're here. Not Victoria. Oh, Vic, she's already starting trouble. Hi, the decline host alternative. Um, oh, and there we go. As I yawn, it must be CC. Uh, he should have gone to AA. He should have done a lot of things, but those guys back in the day were making bank. And, part of the deal was not like today. They didn't have cameras everywhere and license plate scanners. So these fuckers would come out, do the whole Bible preaching thing, and then head home. And with a few of the broads from the revival and have themselves a party. But he died later on. At some point, we're putting together a. I'm gonna do a little A. Allen and Jimmy Swagger thing. So I've just been researching my Bible thumpers to go back. It's crazy because they died off. The Marjoe Gortner documentary came out, and he was full of shit. Everybody else thought that they were uh, they just went away, and now they're back. But they're back now with music and production, and so you have your Catherine Cricks and your Bill Johnsons and your Mike Signorellis. So pretty wild stuff. Tough to be cucked by your adopted dad. Don't know who that is. Premium 2681. Genta is remarking, and I wanted to get in and see if the premium 2681 is the real premium or the fake. And the only thing that happened was I could not remember premium's real name. So let's take a look. Oh, it's a completely different number. Premium. Oh, so I got the wrong person. I had Permaseal as premium. Sorry, guys. Anyway, there we go. Oh, you were adopting Mershon. I stand to remember. Yes, yes, yes. I was going to be their adopted dad for about 30 seconds. Look, those were the heady days. Those were the days of fun, the days that I enjoyed things. And now look at where we've gone. Mersh is after me. Ice was mad at me. But I've managed to survive it all. So, premium, what's happening? I'm confusing you with Permaseal. And there we go. Hunter S. Thompson. Hunter had the aviators. These are just your regular old blue blockers. But there we go. So, but premium, welcome. Sorry. I get very confused with all of the names. And since so many switch during time, I can never figure out who is who. You're good at deflecting people's anger, Schmuel. It's a skill. I don't know why they're so angry. James Baumer, cock blockers. Could you, Jesus Christ. I had a great joke there. I pulled the Chad. But could you blame me if they were cock blockers? I like. Mersh is huffing duster to get by now. Oh man. And they've put what the hell are they called? A bitterant into the dustbuster cans. And holy shit. It's awful. It's awful. I used to, back when dustbusters first came out, or whatever the hell they're called, air busters. I used to I would put it into a soda, and and it would make it nice and cold. Not no more. But if you're going to inhale that shit, I don't think anything is going to stop you. So there we go. Oracle is asking if that is the hat of the Razorbacks. It is not. I'll tell you later, but it's a pig, and it's in honor of one Piggy Jones, aka Siggy Jones, who's got a big pig thing going on, and I wanted to honor him by getting a pig. So we've got a pig hat. Very good. It tastes like gingerbread beer, or ginger beer. But ginger beer, you just pop a drop in. You don't eat. It's like it's a little flavor when you're the other stuff. It's really bad. All right, we're leaning over and we're grabbing the tissues, which are behind. I'll talk. All right, so usually I start these shows off slow. Let's just fucking get into it and rock and roll and start the shit. Pigtoria. She's like, what about me? What about me? I would never be forgiven, Pigtoria, if I wore a hat with a pig and said it was in honor of you. Nobody would buy that, and I think it would piss off lots of people because you're such a good gal. And all right, we keep doing this stuff. All right, so let's rock and roll. So what's been going on this week for Schmuel and Schmuel in the Dabbleverse? So first off, it's been a pretty good week. I mean, finally got back to work fully, and it was way more busier than I thought it was. And I'm leaving in October, and I'm kind of like, Now all of a sudden getting a second wind, like I don't want to go, mommy. Um, this week in Schmuel. Um, if you remember those, this week in baseball with Mel Allen. I wish I had a Mel Allen voice. Hell, I'd take a Mersh voice at this point. The voices that I wish I had were guys like Mersh. If I had the what do you call it? The karmic voice, I'd take that. But unfortunately, I'm just an old man, and it's the Council of Concern. Yes, let's talk about that. Um, Schmill, what are your thoughts on the Bank of Japan bond situation? It's fucked up, but I ain't got it. Jewish news. Oi. So let's get in and discuss this. So Mersh, that's the blame of the week, like old Mershy is blaming everything I do on uh, the Jewish people and being Jewish. But I'm not doing any of those things. And let's see here. We're gonna download and open this. I know. I mean, I know for sure that you guys or a lot of you, whatever, hate AI. I think AI is one of the funniest things in the world because you can slap it in and ask uh, dopey questions, and they won't come out until that info won't pop out, probably until after I'm dead. So feel free to call me a hypocrite or any that shit that you want. Um, but wait until after I'm dead, because that'll be cool. All right. Remember wide, well, the agony of defeat. Of course, who the fuck doesn't uh, Schmiel get hooked on Kratom just for the goof? I got to tell you, I mean, I've seen Kratom in gas stations and wherever, like forever, and I had no idea that people were, what's the word that I'm looking for, addicted to it, hung up on it, shit like that. And now uh, all these poor bastards with the 7.0, what is it, 7.0, um, that's been removed from the market is really gonna fucking kill people. Um, so we'll see. And whatever you do, don't call me Landonian again. It was a compliment. Uh, Schmiel, you're not still running ads, are you, bro? The ads are turned off, so I have no idea why uh, uh, anybody would possibly complain about that. Uh, you're dressed like the world's fattest man, Schmiel. You decide. Am I fat? I'm not. And I once was. It's been a while now since. It's a little weird, And I had a guy here last weekend who was telling me all about my weight loss and what doctors are supposed to be doing and all this other shit. Um, but he was so fat, he had to have his son put on his socks for him. So I thought that was all a little strange. And you can 20 times your money in a year. Stock up on 7 LOL. You can. You can. And reminded of the sponge episode from Seinfeld. That we're out of sponges. We're out of sponges. Oric Hull. I'm a rogue, Schmuel. I only represent the House of Bogdanov and the Council of Concern. Very cool. For you, my friend. All right, we're going to switch down here and head over. And you're going to see this is the clip from uh, Insufferable Bastards, also known as Carlos Danger. And I think I fixed the screen up a little bit so we won't be impeding with the view. And Thank you, Muzzy Celtic. Schmuel Talks is an underrated show. Uh, I give it 4 out of 5. Very fucking cool. NJ Ranger, Oracle 808, as above, so below. And Dean is going on today. Audio seems fine. We didn't have any problem with Dean's audio yesterday. We solved the problem. We figured it out. And very simply, if anybody uses EVMux and uses StreamYard at the same time, the deal is that you need to use a different browser for the EVMux stream when you come on. I'm just going to put this up here real quick, assuming that I can. And let's pull this over here. Sorry. I got a little recording thing that's in my view, and let us get going. Full screen mode, and there we are. All right, and let's share this bad boy. So this is just this is going to be very quick because I want to build up to a sort of Mersh finale. But this was the artificial intelligence, the sonnet model, which was set on Medium, so I didn't pay for this one. But I wanted to go here, and we're going to go to this where it says the thesis. I wonder if I can make this, hold on, kids, possibly make this a one-page view. And let us see. I don't know. Vertical. I have no idea why it's on side to side, but still not helping. But in any event, let's just go for this with Mersh real quick. Same guy, same show. This isn't Revenge of the Cis material. This is his solo joint, Nightwave. And here's AI's read. Mersh did not get exposed by Brixton's leak. He exposed himself live for 40 minutes while telling you he wasn't going to. He opens by promising restraint, no dragging her name, no dropping the ugly private stuff, some kind of honor code. Then he spends the entire stream doing exactly that, narrating her diagnosis for her, quoting her private conversations, running through a list of supposed character flaws in front of a chat that's actively egging him on. That's not a guy holding the line. That's a guy who told you what the line was so you'd notice him stepping over it. And give him credit for almost not doing it. The analogy, this happens constantly with guys in his position. It's the guy at the bar says, I don't want to talk trash about my ex, and then talks trash about his ex for 20 minutes, using the disclaimer as a permission slip. The I'm not like these people framing isn't restraint. It's a receipt. He's writing himself in advance. So when he does the thing, he's already pre-forgiven. Sounds very Dabbleversian. And it's real. He got cheated on or something close to it by his own account. He had a private letter leaked to a hostile audience by the person it was addressed to. And then had material played on a rival stream he says was revenge porn. If any of that's true, it's a genuine violation, and I am not going to pretend it isn't. And coordinated pile-ons are weak, blah, blah, blah. And then let's get into right here, if you can see my little mousey, in the return. But the concession doesn't save him. The thing that actually damaged him wasn't the leak. It was his response. Can we all agree with that? He had a sympathetic position walking in, leaked letter, public humiliation, chat already on his side, and he burned it by doing the same thing to her that he's mad got done to him, just with better lighting, and a drink in his hand. He used slurs. He mocked her appearance. He turned a breakup into a character assassination with a laugh track. You don't get to be the wrong party and the guy doing wronging in the same 38 minutes. Pick one. And the stuff underneath it all, the drug references, we're all losers, buddy line, to a guy joking about him dying, the crowd needling him, about a GoFundMe, it's a punchline. The part worth sitting with, that a guy who is one more bad month away from something worse than a bad breakup, and the whole room is treating it like it's content. Not going to moralize about it. I'm just going to say it plainly. That's not a bit. That's a guy who needed the stream to end an hour before he ended it. And the landing, he kept telling everyone he wasn't going to be like the people he was mad at. Then he spent the whole night doing exactly that, on camera for money, and got mad when people noticed. That's our boy Mercy. And I am coming back. See, the thing with Mersh is he's one of these guys. He talks a lot of shit. He's a tough guy, uh, uh, but I love the fact that he's constantly telling people what to do and how to live their lives, and who's a man and who's a woman and who's. But the showstopper for me today, when I saw this, I think it was last night, and I'm gonna just pull it up for the hell of it. I think I'm gonna pull it up and see if I can find it. But I'm guessing that I am not going to be able to find it, so we will just move on. But last night, Mersh, did the thing that I thought was the most hilarious, which was a public prayer to Jesus on air. So here it is, just for shits and giggles. And like I said, I promise to end this pretty quickly. But I just begging on this guy. I can't help myself. All right. Nice guy Mersh. And the ultimately embarrassing Twitter post, which says, Lord Christ, Son of God, please have mercy on me, a sinner. I don't know, man. I've never seen a guy cope more on about a chick breaking up with him than this guy. And I have a view on that, and I'm just prepping it for later. But let's get into let's rock and roll into what you all are here for. I was doing this with Ozzy yesterday, but the stream I had was way too long. So let's pull this up, and hope y'all can see it. Let me make sure we got sound. We do have sound. We've got everything. So the question has become to me from a lot of people, how do you feel about Dixon turning on you? You lost a friend, in both Pat and in Haley. Something which I disagree to. But beta cucks are usually weak. Yeah. No argument there, my friend. Honestly, the dude, I don't know what the fuck was going on with the guy. It's so hard. It's so hard to explain. But I mean, you don't get to be Mr. Tough Guy telling people what to do. Your stories of selling coke and strip clubs and being all like I'm the tough guy, man. I know how to live life, and then whine about how your goddamn life is a mess. I'm done. I'm absolutely done. Uh, I get it. You wanted to do this without someone holding you accountable. Uh, Pop on, hold me accountable. Just fucking go for it. Seeing your name in the letter was like a wild Super Bowl prop bet. I gotta say, I was blown away when I saw that. Uh, I just, I was, I mean, literally, it's like imagine lying in a bed, right, knowing that the chick laying next to you is, yeah, I'd rather watch Schmuel than talk to you. And then, I mean, seriously, of all the shows on the planet, um, me is the one that came out. I mean, Pot Awful's been going after him since the dawn of time. He had Red Bar. Porcelain made what 2 or 3 documentaries about him. But the guy that really got to him is an old man from uh, Queens, New York. So it was pretty funny. And I'll give Stevie a little pop here. Why would you be surprised? You offered to fly her to Vegas like a creep. Uh, Actually, Stevie, I offered to set up a GoFundMe so she could go to Vegas because people would like her to have gone, and Mersh couldn't afford to buy her a ticket. And it is where it is, man. So fuck, yeah. So fuck that. And isn't KB on? Aren't you not allowed to watch me when he's on, or are you here? Um, and do it. So, all right, let's rock and roll. Yeah, he's a broke man. Broke boom. Uh, but according to his reading of it, he's quite successful at all of this shit. So there is that, and it's just funny. All right. So about me. Um, I honestly don't give a fuck. I don't take too many things too seriously, and I people say shit about me and whatever. I mean, it is what it is, you know. But if you're lying in bed late at night, looking up at the ceiling, worrying about what some dayable verser had to say about you, you've got problems, and oh, look at this. Kimboli, pin your links there, Papa. And Kim, you're absolutely right. And I should. I should have done that. I should have done that long ago. But as usual, I set things up. I actually have a checklist because I'm such a fucking idiot. And I always miss something on that checklist. So I'm going to pin the links there right now, assuming that I can find them. But if I can't, I'll tell you what, I'll just type them in. So we'll do Dabble Tip first, just because I'm a hell of a guy. And the Flims is new. Uh, and I have another reason, which is Flims let you make voices and put them up. And on Super Tip, it's not that simple, and you have to pay after a certain point. So, all right. So, dabbletip.com/Buckman is pinned to the chat. Supertip.gg/Buckman is also available. And unlike others, I heard the story of Chad getting $100 super chat and then getting pissed off because the person did not send it on Super Shout, I think is the name of it. And I hear Super Shout is good, but I can barely do this. So I didn't want to try anything. I wouldn't want to try anything new. I'm an old man. Hold, please. I wanted to go to, let's go to Muzzy Celtic, KB's got chat on. Who needs more of that prick? Um, Chad's an interesting fella, and I am going to lead with that. It actually brings me in to something interesting. which is that in part of the Dixon thing, we'll notice that, and I don't know if it's definitely on these clips, but Pat in his sort of diatribe against Dan and I think the clip starts with the one clip starts with him with Dan, but I'm going to leave that out because we are going to move into the big stuff here. And more importantly, I'm sending Panhandler the link, which he will ignore. And he's got that link. He's got a permalink. He's welcome to join at any time. But we did send Mr. Panhandler the link, so don't tell me to send him the link. Schmuel, copy the link directly from your settings page on the dashboard. Not a terrible idea. But I am not that bright, my friend. So settings. So where is it? Blah, 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 blah. That just gives me the overlay URL. So I don't think that's going to work. So we're not going to get involved in that. All right, but it's up, and there we go. But happy Friday to Panhandler. I got a hard link, says the fat guy. Fat guys generally don't have hard links, but there we go. Come on, you grumpy old billy goat. I think that's directed at you, Mr. Panhandler, from the Bustello Maserati. All right. So when Pat first started talking about this stuff, and he was talking about Dan, he was talking about me and whatnot, and there was the everybody lies comment that he made. Everybody lies, but Pat's quite the wordsmith, and then he went into accusatory lies, and then lies for covering up. And I am going to talk about that, and just because my feeling is, thank you for the $2, Kimboli. Pin your links, paw. They are pinned. Thank you. Appreciate the $2. Wow, why didn't that hide? There we go. My criticisms generally of people are not in comparison. They're in I would call it isolation. So if I'm criticizing, say, Keanu, I'm criticizing Keanu because I'm criticizing Keanu, not what Keanu has done in comparison to somebody else. That's my view on this shit. I just and that's part of also, what can be annoying is that we here we do like to do comparisons between this person and that person, but we are dealing with some of the shittiest people to have ever hit the planet, and so it's like we wouldn't expect Chad to do anything but lie. So and on the other hand, we do expect some people to not lie, if you know what I mean. So let's get into it. We're going to start this, and I think it actually starts pretty quickly in our little world. So let's go, and I'll talk my way through it, and we'll follow the chat and see what you cats have to say. Live chat, all messages are visible. And I think we pulled off I think we finally figured out the moderation issue. So we'll go there. This, I have to point this out. In 2026, you cannot fault a man for not having a car. They've become so expensive that for a lot of people, not having a car makes a lot more sense financially than having a car does. And from what I know from Pat, and I've been friends with him for quite a long time. I'm copying that link just to check and just to make sure that it works. But 404 error. Blah, blah, blah. That's a little strange, isn't it? Isn't it? All right, hold on, people. I'm trying. I'm doing my best. Setting, appearance, social links, QR code, overall, tip types, tip goal, moderation, and voices. So I feel like if I put the overlay in here, it is going to. Oh, because maybe I'm a fucking idiot. That's possible. Not only is it possible, it's actually what I did. So here we go. We'll give you the real link. I know you've been like sitting there with your credit cards burning a hole through your pocket, and you want to help out old Schmuel take some speech lessons and figure out his semantic problem. So, and as I told you, I took a rather comprehensive test. I have the results. We'll go over them. And that was something that came up was this, what do you call it? Semantic, like finding the right word for the right example. And Shitski, where did it go? God damn. All right, we're removing that. We're going to put this one in HTTP and on DABBLETIP.com/BUCKMAN. All right, and we'll make that the pin one and replace pinned message, and I will double check it, and we'll see if that works, and I do believe it will, and it does. All right, so the dabble tip is pinned and pinned correctly. So, and by the way, when you read like how to have a YouTube channel, how to do this shit, they always tell you to come out strong. That's one thing I've never gotten to do, but we'll try it again. All right, can we just start with this shit? Let's go here. All right, and I'm gonna let it run a little bit. Not worried about being struck because Carlos is a friend, and the worst part. The worst thing will possibly happen to me is I'll have to supply him with a whole bunch of Dunkin' Donuts.
Look at this image. I'm very disappointed. He's a little baby. Oh, you make such a cute little baby. His face, it doesn't even look weird. Like if you saw a baby that looked like that, you'd be like, that's maybe special, but it's not a 60-something-year-old man. Are you a buck fucker? Are you a buck fucker?
But I'm not telepromptering.
He glanced down at the chat. Had to respond to Crumbum. Very important in the middle of this very fucking heartfelt fucking speech.
I've got notes and a little bit of over judgment there, my friend. I'm reading off them. I could read a statement, but it's not me. All right. But this is the part that actually didn't matter. I didn't do the work. I wasn't paying.
Imagine thinking you needed to come and read a statement about this. I briefly advocated for Haley, and I must apologize now. But she misled me.
100%.
I feel fooled. I feel betrayed. Jesus.
Paying attention to her explanations myself. I was going off what other people were telling me.
There you go.
Part that actually didn't matter. I didn't do the work. I wasn't paying attention to her explanations myself. I was going off what other people were
You hear how quickly he says that? I didn't do the work. I was going on other people telling me. I didn't listen to anything she had to say.
off them. I could read a statement, but it's not me. All right. But this is the part that actually didn't matter. I didn't do the work. I wasn't paying attention to her explanations myself. I was going off.
Wait, I think he says this is the part that doesn't matter.
Off them. I could read a statement, but it's not me. All right. But this is the part that actually didn't matter. I didn't do the work. I wasn't paying attention to her explanations myself. I was going off what other people were telling me. And what I'll say it now because Stevie Lou wanted to jump in. Nope. This is what Pat does too. He talks at clips like they can hear him. I think, but I've spoken to Pat since this came out. Spoke to him yesterday, as a matter of fact. I was hearing from the people that I talked to it was essentially a non-issue. So I repeated the non-issue.
There you go. There you go. There you go. Your fault. You don't pay attention. You just listen to what everybody else says. A few other people tell you, some non-issue people. Who told you that? Who told you it was a non-issue? We didn't talk. Was it Husey? Husey said that on his show.
Shut the fuck up, Buchman, you pansy.
For real. You can't say it any better. Anonymous.
What it really comes down to is Buchman has pandered to his chat and acquired nothing but trolls.
You tell us, Schmuel, what is Haley qualified to talk about at this point, in your mind?
Haley's qualified to talk about whatever Haley wants to talk about. And what Haley said and who she talks about and how she runs her show was never anything I had a problem with. And if you would listen to what I was talking about, and I get it, it was all over the place. But you're the guy that, Pat is this guy. He can figure out the meaning behind what I say. And, we've been friends forever, and that's been that way ever since. But I don't have a problem. Do not have a problem with what Haley says and or who she says about. That's not the point.
And then we'll talk about whether you're qualified to be making lists of people.
I'm not qualified to be making lists. That's why I make lists. Jesus.
How good or bad they are in this fucking thing. Where they're ranked. You, Schmuel. Because when you lose, Schmuel, you've lost the war.
No, Schmuel. He's talking about you buckling to the mob. We'll get into that, but I don't see it as buckling to the mob. It wasn't a mob that got me to buckle. What affected her? I disagree. I think even if she came out and told it 100%, I even took the hat off for this. I got zero respect for that, other than I look like an embryo. Truth, it would still be that. It would still feel like there was hypocrisy. So
hypocrisy. When has she gone around just condemn? To me, I don't know what they've been watching. I mean, to hear Schmuel tell it, he has hardly watched her show. Almost everybody talking about it says, I haven't seen her show. I don't know anything about her show. But then they proceed to tell you what a hypocrite she's been the whole time and how holier than thou she is. Does that tell you, Schmuel, that maybe a lot of these people are just repeating shit just like you did, Schmuel, which wasn't a good idea? Remember? I mean, doesn't that give you the idea when they go, I have never seen her show?
I never said I never seen her show. What I did say was I tried to watch the explanation stream, but I just don't have that much time in my life.
You're a clown, Schmuel.
That's my view on that. I got to find Panhandler, but hold on. We got Nick in Fort Wayne for $1.99. Dan was right.
I just wanted to pause to say this about Fort Wayne, Indiana. For this image, I'm very disappointed. He's a little baby. Oh, he makes such a cute little baby. His face, it doesn't even look weird. Like if you saw a baby that looked like that, you'd be like, that's maybe special, but it's not a 60-something-year-old man.
Roy Cohen, Esquire. You guys can read that. Put up Mr. Panhandler here. There's no point, Baumert. Baumert is wanting me to say I caved to the mob. And I think Panhandler's a little pissed that he's been carrying the Mad at Ginger torch all by himself for quite a while.
Says Roy Cohn.
I don't know.
Roy Cohn is saying she was definitely turning tricks. Nothing about that in any arrest report. Nothing about that in any court papers. No mention of that anywhere. She was definitely turning tricks. See how this goes, Schmuel?
What I said was, and I don't know why it's not in the clip, but what I said was, Roy, there's enough stuff in the court papers, etc., that we don't need to be adding any bullshit to it.
You can't give enough. If you fucking deny this, they're back on your ass again, you sweeper.
And like, this back on my ass thing, we'll talk about it, but I gotta go because it'll be wrapped up. I don't know. There's enough out there. There's enough shit there that we don't have to create anything. I am done. I want to thank everybody for. Oh, that's what I was responding to Roy. What's the word that I'm looking for? Roy Cohn Esquire. You're the writer.
Allowing me to suck you all off and tell you how right you all are in my chat. These trolls in my chat. Hey, I want you to thank you for sitting here and watching me just really pathetically cope with my need to, like, I don't know, fit in or something. What is it?
Or my pathetic need to have felt that the person that was going to be making this explanation and whatnot, I trusted. I know all the information, so I didn't need to watch to see. Again, not the point, but we'll get there.
Coerced, you know. I'm sorry. Maybe I'm making too big of a deal out of it, but this just to me looks like a crushed guy.
He's disagreeing with Roy. What the fuck is Pat watching? He's disagreeing with Roy because Roy made an accusation that Haley was turning tricks. And my response obviously was, "Hey, look, we don't need to be making stuff up." But Pat felt the need to respond to the way that I responded to it, even though it was weird because he responded to Roy before he listened to what I responded to. Fucking idiot.
This is the one that makes him mad. Not the one about she's definitely turning tricks. Not the one about your BFF Pat co-signing her bullshit. I've seen Panhandle in several, several chats saying this
Panhandler comes up in every Pat stream.
Shit about, hey, what about Pat? What about Pat? How come you're not getting Pat? Get Pat. Dude. Thank you.
That's Carlos's one. And there's enough there to get us started. Fake annoyed Panhandler sucks. Panhandler gets annoyed. I mean, he really does. And Victoria asked a question earlier, which is a question that I text to Mr. Panhandler either last night or today. I don't remember when it was, but all of a sudden they went from okay. I mean, I don't think they were ever like friendly to just fucking hate. Let's go back to my boy NJ Ranger 201. Yes, but he's saying you were bowing to the trolls in your chat. That clip he just played showed the opposite, but apparently that was insufficient. Thank you, NJ Ranger. But you all need to be aware that the claim that seems to be made here is that you are all trolls and that there were no legitimate questions asked by people in the stream. And, I got to tell you, what happened was is I assumed that I just assumed that the truth was told, right? That was the thing. And I had spoken to, I think maybe Quad at that point and other people. Nobody seemed to be responding to it. So it didn't appear to me that this was a big deal. I feel like by the time I did that stream that night, that if it had been a big deal, the what do you call it? The universe would have erupted, but it didn't. It didn't until it did. So, maybe there's something to this get along gang stuff where they needed to communicate before they got upset. But here's my side of this. My side of this is that, and I've used this word a lot. I couldn't believe or didn't believe that the perpetrator of the earlier stream that day would lie. I didn't. It never dawned on me that they would. I totally assumed that what they were saying was the truth. And between Thursday night and the time that I went on the air on Saturday to give that half-ass apology, it had a lot to do with Ozone. And Ozone sent me a bunch of shit. Lie number one, lie number two, lie number three. Like, he had a lot of stuff. And when I checked that out, when I checked out that information, he was correct. And so, yeah, I felt, I guess you're not allowed to have feelings here. I felt a little hurt, I felt like I kind of stood up for you, and didn't believe any of that stuff. And then when I found out that what Ozone was saying was true, I thought it would be important for me to kind of set the truth straight. In the meantime, I had spoken to a number of people, including Haley. I spoke to her both on Friday and on Saturday. And I understand what happened. I understand why she did what she did. But it doesn't change the fact, right? That some of the explanation is just not what happened. All right. So if you want to call me and say, the trolls forced you into doing this, it's all the trolls, then fine. But I don't think that I don't think that was a troll. I mean, the guy gave info that was verifiable. And when you verified it, it was like, geez, this is, this is really what happened. So that's why, one of the many reasons why I felt like I wanted to set things straight. Because I really felt like I had spoken based upon the character of the person, and I didn't need the other. I didn't need to watch. I had already, again, repeating myself, but it already seemed to know. Not even seemed. I did know what the story was, and so what was I supposed to do? Watch the 5-6 hours of that and keep track of it? There's other people in the Dabbleverse to do that. So all right, James Balmer said, the guy I wished would have been shot in the head when I was a police officer real normal Schmuel. Gosh. James, you probably have a different perspective on this. And like I said, I understand why certain information wasn't revealed, why certain information was covered up, so to speak, or to use my favorite word, obfuscation, and stuff was obfuscated. I get that. I understand that. I think it just made things worse. Am I not allowed to say that? Or is it required that the only reason why I would say that is because the trolls in my chat beat me into doing it? I don't think so. And there's another part of this is one of the things that certain members of the Get Along gang like to do. I don't even call it the Get Along gang. It's just certain people like to say, "Oh, he's just being trolled. Nobody watches him for him. It's just they're only on there. That's his entire chat is trolling. They're just trolling him." And let me put it to you plainly. There are trolls in the chat. There are trolls in every chat. But a guy spitting facts is not a troll. And we can't get past that, right? No matter what his reasons were, they were facts. And nothing that he said was done in a shitty manner or to try to own me. He was laying it out there. And NJ Ranger, I thought about this. NJ Ranger says, no, you're not. You have no agency of your own. Yes, I'm not allowed to have an opinion. My opinions are all given to me. Yeah, Keanu pulled that one. When I had the question about the way Keanu's mother behaved when Keanu was in the food rehab facility and the mother was being a cunt from my standpoint. I was, I obviously had to be put up to that because God forbid I should have my own opinion. But let's move on. Give Baumert the link, possibly. I don't have an objection to giving James the link. I like him a lot. But I got to get through this. And I'm not going to get through it, because the point of this stream is the Dixon stuff. That's what the people want. A lot of people were surprised by it. And I was actually surprised by it myself. But fuck it. I'm going to say what I'm going to say. I'm stupid sometimes. I'm well aware of that. I get things wrong sometimes. I'm well aware of that. But I have fun. Doing that. How did you know about Kiki's mother's behavior, Schmuel? They joked about it on their show. And it very, very much reminded me, and I said that it's like one of those family things where at the time it was brutal and it hurt, but later on you just make it a joke. Now, we could have had a conversation about that, but we didn't because I was put up to it. They're just looking for a fight, and all sorts of other shit. Not the least was that I'd set the whole thing up, which was 100% not true. I wanted to go on there and I wanted to have fun, but it didn't happen, right? And I'm not going to sit back and listen to bullshit and not say something about it. So there we go. I guess the trolls forced me into that one too. Well, let's give this a little bit more of a listen.
First 10 minutes because it's just hard to stick with, Schmuel's one of these guys who'll start a sentence. Well, she was very, well, what I didn't like was, Oh yeah, hey Mint Diggity, yeah. And just like, okay, great, thanks, appreciate that.
I just want to say sincere. This is the sincere part first, and because I mean it, and I don't want to bury it under everything else. Um, I'm proud of Haley. People actually turn their lives around. To me, don't get enough credit in this business, and I feel like
I wish,
she's
which
done the work,
I
and
honestly,
so that's real. And
I really don't know what business he's talking about, like in this business, streaming, I guess, but I don't know. It's hard for me to see us all in the same business.
I'm not. Yeah, that kills a lot of people too. That there are not enough gatekeepers in our universe. We need, guys like me should be kept out, and I think it's embarrassing to some of them that they um, are on the same platform as me. And let me say the stupid part first. Schmuel Buckman. Thank you, Moon Crickets. Wait. Bustela Matra. My mother-in-law. Oh, I thought it said my mother-in-law is K9, but my mother-in-law is in K9. Cool. Not debating that with anybody. But that's kind of about as soft as I'm going to get on this because I think this stuff needs to be said plainly.
Okay, now it's called mea culpa, and it's a question mark. My fault? My fault? So I expected it to be some kind of an apology. I'd heard that, like what Dan said there. Schmuel did a complete 180, but it sounds more like he's just blaming Haley to me.
Yeah, the mea culpa was not for Haley. The mea culpa was for my actions, what I did. Yes, maybe a new concept.
It's like he's like saying, "Yeah, I did some stuff wrong, but I was really misled, and like I feel tricked and shit."
Like,
I'll let him talk.
my actual issue, and it's totally not the one I spoke about on Thursday night. It's not the past. The past is the past, and that's what reform means. And as much as I criticize Chad and Keanu and stuff, I feel like they've got redemption stuff, and I'm always kind of like want people to redeem them. And even though with my criticisms of Keanu, the reality is that I was criticizing her from a point of she should be bigger and better.
Now, I don't know what kind of bullshit this is. I mean, she should be bigger and better. Says who? What do you know? It's your opinion. So you criticize her from the perspective of trying to help. You could be so much bigger and so much better. Like I kind of think Schmuel wants to be like a showbiz manager or something like that. Like I think that's like he really sees his role like maybe he could be good at guiding people and shit like that. Because he said I remember when he said about Carmack. I mean, I've known Schmuel a bit. When Carmack was new, he's like, I think he could be like real if he could just be kind of helped along, he could be really big. Like doing what? So that feels like a little bit of a cover for me. So from now on, maybe I'll just use that. Anybody I'm criticizing, it's because I want you to be better. Okay? I just want you to be better. Schmuel, I want you to be better.
An interesting thing which Pat has later. Oh, look at this. Shuli Madoff for $5. All I have to do is look at those glasses, and I know Buckman is doing better than Dixon. Thank you, buddy. And this isn't about me doing better than Dixon or being better than Dixon. This is just my retort. On the Keanu thing, she's been doing this for 10 years. The shows that she's been doing don't go anywhere, right? She gets used by a lot of people. I think that was worth pointing out. But more importantly, and I hope NJ Ranger will somewhat agree with me. He did talk to her quite a bit at Rodney's. I got to meet her at Rodney's. She was nice. She was funny. Keanu has been in our chat a lot and unrestrained. Not having Gino or her mother around, her shit is pretty funny. That's what I was trying to say. All right. Now, whether you took it that way or didn't take it that way, I can't help. And, it's like you don't like Keanu, you think she stinks, and I get it. I have my issues with Keanu. But there's something there. I don't know what it is. I don't know if it can happen. I'm not the person to make you any better than you are. That's not my goal. I'm not your fucking manager or any of that. I am just saying what I've seen, right? And more importantly, on the karmic stuff, I don't really save anything because I don't really care what people say. But on the karmic stuff, Pat is the one that told me he was talented. He now says he never said that, but Pat was the one that told me he was talented. And I asked a specific question was, in 6 months, is anybody even going to know who this guy is? And Pat was like, yes. He had an intimate knowledge of music. It was a lot of pro karmic stuff. This is pre him wanting to throw Taz over her legs over his shoulder and or have sex with Pat's dead mother. All right.
Look at you, my boy Schmuel, spitting straight facts. Yes, sir, this Pat Dixon is no good. Solidarity to Buckman and the Buckman Army. I'm Kevin Brennan. I'm number one.
You are, Kevin. You are number one, at least in your own mind. So let's put to rest that I think that anybody, that I think that I have the ability to change anybody or to make them better or more famous. I'm not a manager. I've lived a life. I've seen people change. I've seen things happen. But I don't think that it takes a real history, or I have a history of some success, and so I watch people like you watch people. This is YouTube's a business, just like everything else. Show business, they call it a business. It's like there are some pretty obvious things, right? And so I would like to talk to Keanu about that. And I honestly do think that what's happened is she's getting her feedback from Gino and her mother, and you're never wrong, honey. You're never wrong. You never make it's always right with you. And that $8 that came in on that voice tip was from one John Melendez, and I don't want to go without thanking him. But let us move on.
Stop being so foolish and unsure of what the you're saying. And I think I'm detecting a little self-pity in this.
Than she is. Like I said, I do dig that he said self-pity just as I put the tissue to my nose. I was all crying. I'm Mersh. The past is the past. And my real issue is
And here's my real issue. What the are you so sad about? I mean, I thought this was fun. I thought this was the thing we all do because we can, because we like to, because we enjoy it, So I enjoy poking holes and shit like this, sure. Because I listened to this today and I was like, holy what happened? I mean, he looks beat down. What did you guys do to him?
No offense, but to Pat, but if we go back and look at stream after stream after stream he did about karmic, And Felicia, what I'm doing here is nothing, but I digress, as they like to say.
Looking in Panhandler's direction, Panhandle is trying so hard. I've seen him in chats everywhere. What about Dixon? How come you're not holding Dixon accountable for co-signing everything? It's like, I don't co-sign shit, motherfucker. And, I'm held accountable for plenty. So don't worry about me, Panhandle. We got plenty here. We got plenty. I got plenty of blame, all right? Plenty of people saying plenty of things. So, hey, although it is flattering, that I'm on his mind that much, I swear to Christ, I haunt that motherfucker's dreams. And I wouldn't be trying to flatter myself, but he mentions me constantly. Everywhere I go, he's saying, hold Pat Dixon accountable. Which strikes me as kind of flattering to me and kind of pathetic for him, really.
He doesn't like you. That's and it does seem that you talk about him as much as he talks about you. I guess the claim would be, well, he talks about me and I'm only responding to him. But let's move on.
Because if there's anybody who's not a big thing, it's
everything
me.
that's happened once the past came up, the choice not to disclose it earlier on Haley's own terms, when it would have cost her almost nothing, and then the explanation she found.
So, Schmuel, why the f would anybody just like air their own dirty laundry on purpose? You know what I mean? So they wouldn't have to deal with it like this. I don't ever see anybody doing it that way. Nobody gets that far ahead of something. Disclose. I don't know what sort of word that is, disclose. She did not disclose it. She doesn't owe it to anybody to tell anybody about that.
This is where the hypocrisy part comes in. And this is what I was saying was hypocrisy. Is that Haley chose to do a show where she went after other people, right? All she's been doing is, on her streams, from what I can say, is going after Karmic, going after Steel Toe. There was the Letity thing that she was going after. Essentially, in my view, she was judging other people and judging them pretty harshly. Now, I did feel there was always a part of what she was doing was, hey, you don't have to do, you don't have to do this. You could be different. You could, reclaim your life. You could live happy or whatever. And I'm the example of that. But when you choose to do a show that goes after people, that it's your show is the show of judging other people, what did you expect the reaction to be when that information came out? So I guess nice podcast, stupid, $2 down. This is the hard-hitting question of the night. SB, whose friendship do you miss most, Pat or Haley? I'll tell you what, you get some friends first, and then you tell me what your relationship is like with actual people, and then we can discuss it. But thank you for the $2. But I don't think you're the guy that is the one that should be asking that question. Let's do this and let's keep going.
She doesn't owe anybody to say anything about her criminal past, and nobody does. We should know less about what people have been up to. Who they're with, where they live, where they work, their names, their addresses, their criminal shit, and all that stuff basically is public, isn't it? A lot of it. This is
100% agree that we should know less. But again, like I'm saying, if you're doing a show that's based on judging other people and going over their court stuff, you've got somebody that goes to the courthouse for you and gets the court documents on Aaron's HRO. Then I think it's a cool idea, but then you watermark them. Again, this fucking storm that blew up, whose fault is that? SB, whose friendship do you miss most, Pat or Haley? AB, $2. Thank you very much. Can I tell you the truth is at this stage of the game, God only knows whose friendship I've lost here. But we'll save that for another time. But look, this is what it is. I mean, am I supposed to be dishonest? That's the question that I have. Like, am I not supposed to say these things because I'm friends with somebody? I don't know. I don't know. So let's move.
This is something. Her decision not to disclose it.
Finally gave the one which best case I think was.
She's been doing this only like a few years too. I mean, it's not that long. You have the chance to not disclose it.
Coach Mike Rodick, is Aaron's HRO current or 16 years old? I don't think it matters, right? Whether it's current or whether it is 16 years old. When you want to be the judge, the people really need to know who the person is who's judging them, right? I mean, it's on a YouTube stream. I didn't choose to do it. You did. And if anybody knows, you're the one that has to know that this shit is going to come out, right? And so there's a part of me that's also shocked that there wasn't a plan for this day. My point about bringing it out earlier was if in the beginning we had known what had happened to you and the stuff was terrible and you addressed it in the beginning, it would not be a big deal today. That's what I mean by getting in front of it. But that didn't happen. And then the second part is you had to know it was coming out, right? You can't fuck with people and then not expect them to try to fuck back with you. And so how is there no plan to deal with this, right? I'm that color me confused. Obfuscation, and worst case, it was a lie or a mix of both. I've sat with it, I've gone back through it, and I can't find a third way to determine it. There isn't a version of this where the response was a shining moment. It wasn't. It was somebody managing a problem instead of telling the truth about it. And I've done hours on this show exactly calling out that shit when other people do it. And I'm not going to tell you what happened. I'm not going to recap it. You guys can just go for it. And here's my part of this. I'm entitled and I'm sore about it. And so
I'm entitled and I'm sore about it.
Yeah, I'm entitled to have an opinion, and I'm sore that I'm feeling myself in a position where I needed to do this.
I'm sore.
I also want to go up here to BMC 30. Here's a novel idea. If you really value your friendship with Haley as much as you used to, say you did, you just have a talk, a conversation. I did talk. I did have a conversation, right? And Haley was aware of what I was going to do. This was not, this did not come out of the wilderness late at night like some beast. This was something that I had told her that I felt the need to address, and I was going to address it. All right. And Permaseal for $1.99, not to be confused with premium. Did her fake journalism career change? Did her fake journalism career change your opinion? 100% no. As a matter of fact, she got a journalism career after all that she'd been through. That's pretty amazing shit, because nobody normally would have anything to do with you. So, and I think she's good at it. So I've read some of the stuff she's written. I may not agree with what she's come up with, but I am certainly, I certainly think she's a good writer. You know, so yeah, no, didn't change a thing.
Or about it. Oh, so what's the count up to of people who have made it about themselves now? That's Penny did, and Schmuel. Somebody else did too. Can't remember.
But
I'm
the thing
sore
is,
about it.
when you don't disclose, and then you obfuscate when you're asked, you don't create just a problem for yourself. You create a problem for every person who stood up for you. And I went out and I
Oh no!
is that not true, or is it true? Call me a whiny little bastard, but you know, is it true?
Oh, really, Schmuel? A problem for you? Has that been a problem for you? Oh no! I don't mean to sound so Brennan-esque. I mean, forgive me, but I'm being sarcastic.
You're falling apart, Schmuel. James Baumer, 3231. James, am I falling apart? Or did I just do something that most people around here don't do?
Jeez, that's terrible, Brennan. Whoever this guy is, Buckman. Has it been hard? You create a problem for your people who stood up for you.
Defended her publicly on what I thought was available information.
He sounds like a politician.
Which it turns out was incomplete because the person who had the complete information chose to keep it that way. That's all right. And we've got Mr. Wizard. Nice podcast, stupid for $1.99. No, Buckman. You plan to apologize to Haley for your betrayal. If I wound up doing if I had thought I had betrayed her, I would certainly apologize. But sorry, bud. I didn't betray anybody. That's what non-disclosure does. It doesn't protect you. It arms the situation, hands it to your friends.
Fuck you, dude. I mean, that's I've never seen somebody like so self-pitying about so little. Oh, that's too bad, man. I mean, I don't think anybody asked Schmuel to go and like I don't know, stick his neck out in a way that's uncomfortable. I really doubt it. I think that was a choice.
I put my credit. I didn't think I was sticking my neck out. I thought I was just relaying what had been relayed to me. But okay, I stuck my neck out and nobody asked me to do it. Ability on the table.
And here's another thing. At one point, Dan said something about, well, you know, here's how Haley should have handled it. Okay, let me go back to that just so I can show you.
She had 2 days to figure out what she wanted to say. She talked to Moody apparently for 3 hours on the phone. We wanted to all give Haley the benefit of the doubt. I really did. I wanted her to come out and say.
Nobody believes that, Dan.
And I even, if you watched my little silly show that I did yesterday, I said what she should have done was she should have turned on the camera and said, listen, some things have come out this week about my past. It's a long time ago. I made a lot of mistakes. I'm not the same person I am that I was 15 years ago. The things that you're hearing, some of it is true. Like these legal documents, they're real. The stuff on Kiwi Farms. Instead of saying, oh, it's Kiwi Farms, it doesn't matter. It's real, honey. Just fess up.
I don't know that she said it's Kiwi Farms. It doesn't matter. But because it obviously does matter. She's there to address it. So I can't imagine why she would say that. But the fact that he's able to kind of state the case here for her shows that, he knows that all that's true. So she just didn't say it right for him.
You're busted. Don't keep doubling down. Don't fight it. Just come out and say, hey, I made some mistakes. Here's how I've changed.
Sorry.
Here's what I learned. This is why the Haley today is not the Haley of 15 years ago. I was a very different person. I made a lot of mistakes, but I learned a lot. And this is where, no. But
This
what
is the guy who disappeared, right? After just slamming his face onto Stuttering John's dick night after night. John, I love you. Co-signing everything that fathead said, right? Stuttering John. And everybody's like, what's he doing? Is he trolling? We all thought he must be trolling, right? It must be, he's going to pull something. No, he was just into it. He liked John. He liked being on the show. And
I hate to have to do this, but was what he just said wrong? I mean, I don't often find myself agreeing with Dan, but everything else aside, that statement of Dan's taken in isolation, I don't think was wrong. I think it's probably correct.
And now he goes away for a little while, and now he comes back, and now he's talking about this. And are we all supposed to pretend that he's like some respected guy now? I mean, because that was not in the memo from those guys. What are they called? The Get Along Gang. That was not in the GAG memo.
This insistence that everybody is directed from outside is a little silly. If I do get a memo from somebody in the Get Along Gang, I promise I will share it with you guys. Alexis Forty Pooper, Danish shit people. I don't disagree at all with that. I think the other stuff that he was saying was horrible. The hotel, the this, the that. And although I did get a chuckle, I have to say, out of him judging that Haley is not the kind of woman that you should be with, as if he didn't have to kind of purchase one, or I don't know. I'll bet it cost a lot of stamps to send that broad up from Brazil. So let's go.
did was she spent 3 hours blaming everyone but herself. My trauma. If you have a
BMC 30, truth aside, do you think Dan's statement was made in good faith? I doubt it. But again, in isolation, it doesn't feel like it was wrong. I mean, I believe that that's the way it should have been handled. But
a problem, you're making fun of my trauma.
I don't know. Does that hit you guys right? That doesn't hit me right exactly. It sounds a little obnoxious.
It's like, no, sweetie, you sold heroin 4 times and you got busted. And it's all there for the world to see. Own the up to it. And she eventually, later on in the show, started to peel back the onion a little bit. But she's
right. So she got to it. I guess, I don't know. I'm not trying to be like a devil's advocate here or anything, but doesn't it seem like it might, after all this time, you're talking about this in public, it might take you a little while to work up to that kind of thing? Look, I'm just thinking out loud here.
Spent 3 hours blaming steel toe, blaming this, that, and the other thing, making all the excuses in the world. And you know what people do? You know the kind of people that do that? Those are people that are addicts that never got over the addiction.
Oh no!
That they just transferred their addiction over to something else. They lie. They finesse.
This is where he's just stupid. But let's be honest with Dan. Dan is just trying to generate beef. He's trying very hard to be controversial, so more than 12 people will watch his show.
People and She lied directly to her fans. She's got all these hundreds of fans that give her all this money every week that have created this career for her. And she didn't.
I'm sorry, Rob, but it's very fucking funny. Dan has a lot of internal anger. You would too if you still look like a fetus. Very, very goddamn funny.
Have the wherewithal, just the common sense to just admit to it. People want to give you a redemption story. People want to have sympathy for you. People want to turn the page. We wouldn't probably be talking about it right now. She could have either done that or she could have just shut up for a couple of weeks and it probably would have blown over. But instead, because Haley, because she's holier than thou, because she's sanctimonious. And she can criticize you. She can pull up your legal documents. But when it comes back on her, she's very thin-skinned and she fights it. And then it's, steel toe. My this, my that. Such bullshit. She came off as a phony. She looks really bad. And I don't know how she gets over this. This is a really low moment for her. And really, I don't know how she gets out of it.
Okay. All I can say about this is like, holy shit, dude. You're taking it way too seriously here. You're taking all this shit way too seriously. And everybody who agrees with this is taking it way too seriously. This is a crazy level of analysis on this.
Nobody is taking Dan seriously. I mean, come on. And nobody even believes that Dan is taking this seriously.
I've never seen anything like it. I mean, this motherfucker has come crawling out of the swamp, you know? And he's like, listen, here's how it is.
Aussie guy, do you see how badly this is going, Schmuel? 2 minutes ago, you used Dan to defend yourself. Then you said Dan is a bad faith debater. Actually, what I said was akin to even a blind squirrel occasionally finds a nut, or a broken clock is right twice a day.
That's to say nothing of the way Schmuel was taking it.
You wouldn't have disenfranchised the Schmuel Buckmans of the world.
Look, you know, I just think that it's a little too overblown. And when did Schmuel become such an influential figure? To hear his name get thrown around so much, like, hey, you lost Schmuel.
This is actually funny, and let's listen closely for the next minute or so.
You know, you've lost Melton. I don't think that her show has ever depended on these guys. When did her show ever depend on any of that stuff? What did those guys do to make it happen? Melton invited her to Hackmania. That was cool. Schmuel? How does he matter at all?
Of the world.
Sounds a little copy to me, but what do I know?
It's the Meltons and the Schmuels. When you lose Schmuel Buckman, you lose the war. I mean,
when you lose Schmuel Buckman, you lose the war. He has to be kidding, right? I mean, he has to be. When you lose Schmuel Buckman, you got to have the Buckman seal of approval. This is insanity.
I've known people have actually changed, and I default to believing that's possible. So I was primed for a charitable read. I could have a teleprompter crumb bum, but I'm not telepromptering.
He glanced down at the chat, had to respond to crumb bum. Very important in the middle of this very heartfelt speech.
I've got notes, and I'm reading Jacob off Shed for $4. Aussie guy is a piece of shit like Dan. I have to say, I disagree with that because I think the Aussie guy is essentially honest. That's the big difference. And when an Aussie guy says something, it's generally because he means it. And he's certainly the guy that he does not take this shit too seriously. Nope. Could read a statement, but it just doesn't. It's not me. All right. But this is the part that actually didn't matter. I didn't do the work. I wasn't paying.
Imagine thinking you needed to come and read a statement about this. I briefly advocated for Haley, and I must apologize now. But she misled me. I feel fooled. I feel betrayed. Jesus.
Paying attention to her. Is that what I'm doing, Pat? For explanations myself. I was going off what other people were telling me.
There you go.
Part that actually didn't matter. I didn't do the work. I wasn't paying attention to her explanations myself. I was going off what other people were telling me.
You hear how quickly he says that? I didn't do the work. I was going on what other people telling me. I didn't listen to anything she had to say.
Off them. I didn't do the work. I wasn't paying attention to her explanations myself. I was going off.
Wait, does he say
and I'm reading.
I think he says this is the part that doesn't matter.
And what I was hearing, what I did say is, what did I say? Let's go back a sec.
Oh, in speech.
I've got notes and I'm reading off them. I could read a statement, but it just doesn't. It's not me.
That's not
all right. But this is the part that actually didn't matter. I didn't do the work. I wasn't paying.
Imagine thinking you needed to come and read a statement about this. I briefly advocated for Haley, and I must apologize now. But she misled me. I feel fooled. I feel betrayed. Jesus.
Is that not an appropriate? Feels to me like it's an appropriate feeling, right? And look, man, I get it. People don't express their feelings on here. I'm a sensitive old fella. I'm gonna do it. Paying attention to her explanations myself. I was going off what other people were telling me.
There you go.
Part that actually didn't matter. I didn't do the work. I wasn't paying attention to her explanations myself. I was going off what other people were telling me.
You hear how quickly he says that? I didn't do the work. I was going on what other people telling me. I didn't listen to anything she had to say.
Off them. I didn't do the work. I wasn't paying attention to her explanations myself. I was going off.
Wait, does he say this?
And I'm reading.
I think he says this is the part that doesn't matter.
And what I was hearing from the people that I talked to was it was essentially a non-issue. So I repeated the non-issue.
There you go. There you go. Your fault. You don't pay attention. You just listen to what everybody else says. A few other people tell you, some non-issue people. Who told you that? Who told you it was a non-issue? We didn't talk. Was it Husey? Husey said that on his show. Was that what you went by?
Temperature back at you guys without checking on it. It's not a loyalty problem. It was a me not doing my homework problem. And she dealt the bad hand, and I'm the one that chose to.
She dealt the bad hand. How do you? I mean, I still the way he is finding a way to blame Haley because he went around talking about shit he didn't know anything about. He didn't know anything about it. I don't know. I'm sure he knows a lot about a lot of things. And it's a much more comfortable thing. I mean, if you're really, like he said, putting his credibility as Schmuel Buckman on the
One of my favorite parts of this.
Table. I mean, if it's really that big of a risk, you'd think that you might check into it.
To bet on it. But it didn't have to. And again, I've used NJ Ranger as an example. If NJ Ranger told me, if something happened, NJ Ranger told me that he was going to take responsibility and do it, I would not go back and check that NJ had done that because I may now, but back then, I assumed that the person that was going to be making the statement and making things clear was going to do that. That's what they had said to me without looking at my cards.
Great analogy. This is not about Haley. This is this. I never have seen somebody so. Why is he so intensely affected by this? Look at him. It's like he's lost his damn mind.
I haven't lost my damn mind, Pat, but part of what I think is my character as Mr. Schmuel Buckman is to be honest, right? And so, I don't know.
The Dabbleverse, dude. I mean, come on. We've all been through some shit here. We've all had to deal with our share of false, shit being thrown around. Some people having some real shit thrown around. Kim Nicholson, she had to deal with this. She's still around. I don't think I've said very much about Kim Nicholson. I don't know if I've said anything about Kim Nicholson. Some people like to really beat up on her. I've never done that. You know why? Didn't care. It didn't bother me. It just doesn't affect me. I don't know. And if she would have not owned up to it completely for a day, how long does it take some of these Dabbleverse liars to own up to shit, you know? And you struggle this hard with it.
Because I trusted this particular person. I said this earlier. I'm not going to check on Chad. If I get shit wrong about Chad, it's because Chad is that kind of person, right? Because he's always lying.
It really hits him. This man is broken
here. But, you know, the truth is it goes back to the Nixon era, right? That it's not the crime, it's the cover-up.
It's not the crime, it's the cover-up. Okay. If you don't know what he's talking about, there was a Watergate scandal back in 1972, around that time. Richard Nixon was president. He had a connection with it, it seemed, but he wouldn't own up to it. That went on for 2.5 years. You know what happened? The Constitution did what it's supposed to do. The judges ruled. Law and order prevailed. There was no civil war. The nation went on. And he's equating what Haley did as a cover-up. The cover-up. I would equate it more like if somebody just like, ripped your clothes off in the middle of the street and you were like, oh, and covered yourself up like that for a second. And then fine, I guess, fine.
We're minimizing a little bit here. I mean, this was the first president that had to resign in disgrace. And the whole deal with Nixon was he found out about Watergate, which was the breaking into the Democratic National Headquarters, led by his people. And instead of firing and coming out and whatever, he hid it and he lied and he obfuscated until the point where it built so much, we got the big wave as he left, and his presidency was considered a disgrace. I'm annoyed. I'm annoyed because this feels like that situation.
Annoyed.
This feels like
Watergate to him. This feels like a scandal that was so definitive and huge that since then everything is something gate. This would be Haley Gate.
I think we're being a little hyperbolic, Pat. It was the clearest example and the one that most people would know about the cover-up is worse than the crime, which has sort of entered the lexicon, and it came up with Nixon. And, if I can throw a little history in, form a few people, hey.
Or heroin gate. Or dishonesty gate. What all needs to be disclosed is what I would like to know. What's the list of shit we need to make available to everybody about us before we can talk about shit? I'd be curious about that.
It wasn't, I know people, yeah, Pat, we know about your career, and that's what gives you the authority to discuss other comedians, rate other comedians, etc. If you were doing that and we found out that you never had a comedy career and you were judging other people, that might be a little problematic, I think is what I'm trying to say. People are pissed off at what you did, and I know people are can say, "Oh, you put people at risk. You did this." Yeah, I get all that, but I also believe that people in the Dabbleverse are forgiving, and I know that sounds crazy, but I think they are. And
yeah, I don't know how forgiving they are, but they're very forgetful. They might be forgetful sometimes.
They're also very forgiving. There's a segment on here that would love to destroy people, but most people get into shit in their lives, and they generally don't want to hold it over your head. But let's also, Melton made a joke about AI replacing a certain type of pornography, and that has stuck with him forever and forever. Because I'm disappointed. I kind of feel like I'm betrayed.
This is unreal.
Betrayed.
Do we all? I mean, again, make it about yourself. Make it about you.
No, Liam, I'll let you do that for me when I decide to do it. But I'm going to stick around and.
Is this a retirement speech? Since he's not going to read, I will.
Bottom line,
be better
for me is there were changes to the story. There's things that don't add up. There was lots of shit going on. I'm disappointed in her and the way she handled it.
I wonder if he's even.
I get what she did. I don't know what I would do in the same situation, but I don't think that I would have spent a long time criticizing people without having said why I was doing it. I always took.
I think sometimes he loses at like mid-sentence. He kind of loses like the trajectory of it. Like I don't think I would have spent a lot of time
because I didn't want to fucking have to do this, but I felt I needed to
criticizing people without saying why I was doing it. Who criticized?
I can go with this one. James Baumer, 3231. So Schmuel, just to catch up, what's your position again? My position is that Haley chose to do a show that was critical of other people, about their behavior, about their past, about their future, about their present. And if she had said in the very beginning that she had been through much of this horrible stuff, it was possible to change, et cetera, et cetera. She's proof that it could be done. I don't think that it would have been as big of a deal. I also think that then coming on and trying to give an explanation that was sort of riddled with not great answers didn't help. So that's my position.
Criticizes people without saying why they're doing it.
Haley's work with Karmic and Steel Toe, I always felt like she was trying to get them to do better.
Like you, Schmuel, like you. When you criticize people, it's for a good reason. Of course. Come on.
Pat, if it was for a bad reason, that makes what happened here even worse.
Man, to make them do better, to spread the love. Man, when you've lost Schmuel Buckman, you've
Sir Franklin, Haley is good people. I agree.
Lost the war. This guy right here, Steel Toe. He mentioned Steel Toe, right? Criticism of Steel Toe. She was trying to make Steel Toe be better. Dixon, you have women falsely accuse you of hitting them. Then Haley says some dude knocks out 4 teeth to get her to sell heroin. Common excuse for lie. LOL, common excuse for lie. I mean, the thing is, I don't know that guy. I don't know who the he's talking about. I don't know anything about that situation. How could I possibly say it went one way or the other? I don't know. Did she go on? Did she make it a mission? And I don't have women doing that. I have women doing that.
Let's go back to Mike's shitty internet provider, or MSIP 747. Hit the like button for opinions. They change. Shit happens. I don't think my opinion has changed. I think it's pretty much spot on here.
That and Gino. So, I mean, let's get some perspective here. The two situations are not the same.
As they used to say, Bustello Maserati. I support Hurley. Wouldn't that be what Jesus would do? Yes, I support Hurley as well.
They're not the same at all. Also, the way I understood the story, nobody knocked 4 teeth out to get her to sell heroin. I think that was like something that the same guy had done way previous. That's the way I understood it.
But how would people... The explanation was so long and all over the place. People make mistakes.
That was something. This was the same guy who had done that in the past. not in order to like sell heroin. But I know. Apparently, the story was not told with a lot of grace, but and with not a lot of precision. But that was the way I understood it, and I don't find it all that hard to believe. People swept up in situations like this, or who get themselves into situations like this, or whatever you want to call it. You know, people who were around seedy people. Maybe at that time, you could call them a seedy person. Shit like that happens. You know? And I assume that we're talking about drug dealers, drug addicts, stuff like that. So and even without that, I have no reason to. I don't, like I said, I know nothing of that guy. I don't think it's damaging his reputation. I don't think it was said to damage any guy's reputation. So I don't know. I don't know if I see the motive.
But I don't watch a lot of it. I watch. So I only see some stuff, and I'm not really into the karmic and steel toe things. So again, I don't know a lot of. I didn't know a lot about that. But criticizing other people's behavior, court records, and all that stuff when you've got that shit in your background, not disclosing it, I think it's not a good. I just don't think it's a great idea. I don't think it looked good for her.
I'm sorry. You can have. I don't think it invalidates anybody's criticism of anything. You know. That's like saying, like, if you've been divorced before, you can never advise anybody about a relationship situation. Maybe you can. Or that, like, oh, I don't know. You know, sometimes, like, here's what I would say. If you are, like, a batty drunk, you probably shouldn't be a substance abuse counselor. I could see that. See, here's the thing about...
Could you be a divorce counselor if the people who you were counseling knew you were divorced?
Steel toe, too. I'm just saying this for perspective. I don't give a shit. I think these are weak arguments. I'm attacking Schmuel's arguments, okay? Do whatever you want. I don't care. I don't give a It's pretty clear that everybody was looking at steel toe's court shit. That's something Dabbleverse wide. People were interested. I mean, like, if somebody would come and hand it to me, I probably would have been reading over it too, but I didn't. I just watched. Jesus Christ. Karmic? About Karmic? What court records did, got dug into for him except by Joey C. one time? And couldn't find shit, really. So, yeah.
James Baumer, Schmuel, your arguments are under attack. Of course they are. And is there a significant, because I feel there would be a significant difference between you going and getting those court documents and the court documents just being handed to you?
I don't know if surely everybody's aware, of what a piece of shit Karmic is. I mean, like, I don't understand why you would make any kind of special allowance for the guy.
That was your opinion after many things had happened, not before.
Has sat there and I mean lied his ass off about me. He has, like, in the most despicable way, tried to damage me, my reputation and shit. Now, I talked about him, sure. But I talked about him, like, observing his behavior, making comments, maybe making jokes and laughing. I wasn't like, you guys know the kind of shit that he would say. And then with Haley, he talked about her pussy stinking for like 2 hours. He talked about Taz, talked about eating her pussy forever.
But this isn't about Karmic. This is about my arguments.
He talked about digging up my mother so he could eat where I came from. Okay. Real funny, I guess. Every dog has his day. But these are disgusting things to say. And these are things that, like, I'm sorry. Haley probably did say a lot of that shit with the idea that, she had some kind of soft spot for that guy, it looked like to me. Just whenever she would cover him, be like, oh, and she's on there like, he's dancing, she's dancing. Just stack up what's been said by either one and tell me that, like, oh, but you didn't disclose your criminal past, so I know it was a long time ago, but you should disclose that before you start criticizing Karmic. Anybody having that opinion, taking this shit...
Thank you for adding the affect, Pat.
...to that level, none of us are running for office, Schmuel. You know, none of us are trying to get elected to anything. We don't need to be spotless. We don't need to be perfect. I mean, you're lucky if nobody just like decides to say something about you and says it, like they did with Schmuel. And Carmick was a big, Carmick would sit around saying he's, the statements he made. Where's your head? You gonna tell me that like this guy deserves some consideration he didn't get because something went undisclosed and it's a bad look?
No one was saying, or shouldn't say no one, me. I was not saying that he deserved consideration. I was saying that if you are going to talk about somebody and go deep and you have something in your past that would make you look hypocritical, it might be something that you would want to talk about.
It's like he landed from another planet.
And it certainly didn't make people like me look good.
Oh, no. I mean, come on. It didn't make people like you look good. Tough shit. You already don't look good.
We were relying. Was that a comment about my looks or something else? We were relying. I'm going to say this. We were relying on her and who we know her to be now.
Without checking anything, without looking into anything, without knowing any facts, without doing any homework.
I didn't have to look at the facts. I can say the same thing again and again and again. I trusted the person that was responding. I assumed that they were not going to obfuscate, etc., etc. I just think it's time. So I wanted to come in and I kind of wanted to do a mea culpa and say, look, I was wrong. And
I'm not hearing a lot of that personally.
I could.
Come on,
there's
man.
a whole. I'm kind of flustered. And as I always do, I kind of throw.
His parents are visiting, by the way, in the other room.
She did it. I did apologize. I think my parents have been dead for so long. Not happening. That's what I'm doing here, aren't I? Or am I not?
Not that much. You know what's funny is that like he's doing exactly what everybody said Haley did. You're sitting there blaming somebody else while you disclose or say you're sorry. Shit Show says, thank you, Schmuel. This means a lot of nothing. Dan was really proud of him, though, seeing him come over to the other side. I think Dan really likes seeing Schmuel's balls just get crushed. Because Schmuel's balls at this point have just been crushed by something. I don't know what. I don't know what got to him.
Thank you, Schmuel. This means a lot of nothing. I know it takes me a few minutes to get started. It absolutely does. All right, here's the story.
Be critical of Haley, quick.
I came on the show Thursday. At the time, I thought that the Haley thing was not a big deal. People were asking questions, and I was kind of ignoring it. You
came on thinking it was no big deal. Did you watch it? Did you watch any of it? Did you watch our stream the following day? Because,
Christy Webster 7539. Wait a minute. If you say you don't have to listen to the facts, why does your opinion change with different facts? I am confused, not being an ass. Just being curious. I've said it, and it may be the wrong thing to do, but when I trust somebody and they say they're going to do something, and then they go on and do it, I assume that I don't have to go back and check facts. And unfortunately, I was hit with a series of facts that were irrefutable.
That happened too.
Kind of a dick on purpose, or that's at least my nature. So I felt like I didn't really want to get. I don't like to give in, so I was around. But Oracle.
Anonymous.
What it really comes down to is Buckman has pandered to his chat and acquired nothing but trolls. So his chat wants to pile on Haley, dig up medical records, dox her, send her food, send her dildos, all the shit they love to do. Buckman, this was so pathetic.
Couldn't agree more. Absolutely. Well said. Thank you.
We'll put up a bunch of stuff. And then after the show, I got some shit from some people that I respect. who are not part of the Get Along Gang, if there is such a thing.
Don't ever admit the existence of this thing of ours.
And so I decided to look at it. I looked at that stuff. I spoke to Haley, and I had to decide, at the end where I stood. And, where I stood is, and where I stand is, I'm disappointed. I'm disappointed again, like in the way she handled it. You can't change
Lady
your past.
KB, I don't know the answer, but we'll
certainly,
find out for you
but,
and have it sent to you.
You can talk about it. Judging other people for crimes, even though Steel Toe deserves criticism for the stuff that he's done.
You're not qualified to do it because you didn't disclose your crimes. So,
Feel free to look, but I'm not hiding anything.
sorry, Haley. You're off the Steel Toe team.
One thing, but to do it when you have...
It's not about you're off the Steel Toe team. It's about, very simply, right? You decided to do a show of criticizing other people, predominantly for legal moves. You also criticize people for their relationships, a lot of stuff, and not disclosing that, not talking about it, makes it appear as if it's hypocritical, or at the very least, the person in the glass house with a large stone in their hand.
When you have that in your past. And it's the goddamn internet. So you got to know it's going to come out.
So what? I got to confess. Maybe I just have like a weird, unrealistic idea of these things. But I don't think I do. I think it's pretty realistic, actually. I still don't think punching Gino Biscani was that big of a deal. I think I was provoked. Sure, I bid on it. It's illegal to do that. So I broke the law, and I did everything that I needed to do to get that straightened out. And I don't apologize for it. I don't think that having sold drugs...
And how long did it take for you to recover from that? Right? I mean, it's been a very long time.
Drugs 16 years ago is all that big a deal, regardless.
I'm not among the people that think it was a big deal, right? I'm not talking about what happened. I'm not judging Haley for what she did. I specifically avoided that. I firmly believed and still believe that if you'd come out before, it would have been better. And when the stuff did come out, you should have known it was going to, and there should have been a plan to deal with it.
Whether or not there was whatever the was going on, even if it was totally intentional. I don't get how this is the biggest deal ever, right?
It's not the biggest deal ever. James Baumer, 3231. Pull up, Schmuel, pull up. And James, if you want, I'll send you the link. I wasn't really planning on being on this long. I have to go to Home Depot, but I'd like to talk to you about it. And from what they've doxed you on, I feel like you had a prior career that you might have a little more insight into this than I do, as far as what happened.
But Scarlett gets busted with 30 grams of cocaine. Nobody says boo. I don't think they should.
Because everybody expected Scarlett to get busted with 30 grams of cocaine.
Should say boo. I'm not all that impressed by seeing some of these drunks be so critical. I mean, there's a guy who stole credit cards, a stalker, and a drug dealer, daily drug user, right there on MLC. They didn't get any shit about that. And I know, ooh, different drug. You want to get into like relative dangers of drugs, that's a different thing.
But nobody wants to get into the relative dangers of different drugs. Call me wrong. It's my expectation of people, right? And again, I don't care that she got busted for what she did. I'm happy that she got over it. It sounds like it was a horrible time. I just think the way that it's been handled was what was bad. I apologize. Again, holding on to that information, then not thinking it was going to come out. All right, I want to put this rumor to rest. She had stalking charges too. As I understand it, that is not true. And that involved mutual restraining orders against people, but there were never any charges of stalking. So we don't need to create. There was enough stuff out. There's enough to this story that we don't need to create anything else. And you would deal with it later. She's too smart for that, or maybe not. But that's where we are. And the other thing,
if only Gino would have disclosed his $33,000 in credit card debt, and maybe we would see it differently when he obfuscates and lies, saying that Pat Dixon owes him the money. You see how somebody's being a fuckhead, right? And it's not one day of that shit, and then like, fine, here you go.
But who disclosed that Gino had $33,000 in debt? Was it the person who'd been through a lot and said, I'd been through a lot?
Some of these liars are never coming off their bullshit. Most of them. Whoever does. How many times do you get a guy dead to rights? Steel toe, for instance, Chad. We hear that phone call that he made, which was great. I mean, it was really great. The guy just started throwing.
Christy Webster, I just feel like you're getting offended because people in Dabbleverse tell things a little differently. I got to pull it back up. People in Dabbleverse tell things a little differently than they happened, would get no rest. Look, I thought it wasn't a big deal. And it became a big deal, right? And I'm sorry. I know that you feel that way. How about we don't comment on it till we have all the facts and answers to our questions? I have all the facts and the answers to my questions. I didn't on Thursday night when I was saying, it's not a big deal. But I have them now.
Went Aaron under the bus immediately. And Steel Toe's like, well, we didn't have a comedy show. It's always another win for the toe.
We know Aaron lied, and we know Aaron does lie, and we know that Haley does a great job of covering Aaron lying. All right, but what would have been worse? Having Steel Toe be the guy that reveals all this shit, or you doing it yourself?
How much do you want to just see people admit reality, Okay, so there was like a 1-day delay, and all these, I guess, low self-esteem bitches out here, and militant people from other shows. Let's not forget that. There's a lot of that, and there's some alts. So I mean, like all this shit you're seeing, man, you're in a spook house, Schmuel.
So it's not all right. I said what I said, and I did what I did. Okay, but Pat, you're spending an hour talking about it, and judging me for what I said, blah, 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 blah. So it meant something, didn't it? Not a comparison to me. If I dislike Liam, which I don't, but if I disliked Liam, it doesn't mean that I then like Patrick Milton, which is where the Dabbleverse goes.
Now, that is true. Now, he makes a good point. A lot of people say if you like one person, you can't like another person. Or if you don't like somebody, that means that you do like somebody. All this dumb bullshit. There's like about 6 or 7, maybe tops people. I mean, more like 4, I guess.
BMC 30, you know what a bigger deal is to me? Kevin exploiting Scarlett after she got arrested and getting her to possibly incriminate herself for views and super chats. Frankly, I do think that that's a bigger deal. But I've never trusted Kevin. I have not liked him. So it's not my, it's not my argument. I mean, Kevin did what we expect Kevin to do. So well, there you go. Christy Weber, 7539. I'm honestly not trying to come at you. I like you. I could be wrong. This just seems to have you more upset. Have you upset more than it should. Now if you go yelling like Peggy, we're gonna have to whoop you. This would be over in my world, and I would have moved on. But Pat and I have been I've been inextricably linked to Pat for a long time. And, it came up. People wanted to hear about it. I got to talk about it. That's my view. And I'm not upset about, I'm not as upset about this as much as, yes, I like saying apropos. Apropos is a good one. And we're going to wrap this up in a second. It's going to end
hold in utter contempt in this whole place. It's not too hard to figure out, but it doesn't mean that that means that as Brennan said, get Melton to be your daddy and all that shit. All that's just meant to be demeaning, but there is a lot of hostility, a lot of toxicity, some toxic ass people.
I stand, sir. I watch Schmuel Buckman. Yeah, we've heard that.
And I think Schmuel's been drinking the haterade or something.
I guess that's it, man. I don't know. I feel like I got hornswoggled a little bit.
A little bit.
I feel like I got hornswoggled a little bit.
What a fucking buffoon.
I definitely left that to the wrong. I didn't handle it well, and I don't want to be that. I don't want to be the guy that mishandles something and then comes out and says, "No, I was right." Doubling down on it.
What are you coming out saying? You f***ed up putting faith in Haley because she's such a fucking disappointment. That's what you said.
It's not what I said,
you
Pat.
You were hornswoggled because you were dealt a bad hand by Haley. The dealer doesn't look at the cards anyways. So, who bets on their cards without looking at their hand? That's a fucking idiotic thing to do. Nobody does it. That's why.
All right. Let's get back to old Schmuely. Let's see if we can get this up playing. All right. So let's rock and roll here. And I'm going to give another 10 minutes or so. I like Pat and I like Haley. I don't think either of them thought that I responded the way they wanted me to respond. And I get that. I don't think either have very much respect for me in doing this, in streaming and whatnot. And I get it. They think I'm run by trolls and that's all I do. And the chat is 99% trolls and blah, blah, all the bullshit, right? And I get it. But bottom line, you fucking didn't like the way that I handled it. You don't agree with the things that I said. And the show the other night, I feel like I was mischaracterized. I don't dislike Haley. And I if anything, was upset because I don't dislike Haley. And I thought that it could have been handled better. And all the things that I say about, feeling disappointed and all that stuff. I'm saying for me, that's how I felt. And I'm doing that because that's how I felt. And I know that there are other people that felt similarly, but I got no need to fucking put them out there. I expressed my opinion, and it is what it is. Look, I've spoken to Haley since. She's totally not happy with what I said and what I did, and she's got her reasons. And maybe the lying and we'll use the word again, and then I'm going to retire it. Obfuscation was she felt necessary for her safety, for her family, whatever. I get it, but you got to know when your shit is out there, you can't do that because fucking people are going to pull it out, right? And people who watch her show, it's not a comedy show, not in my view at any point. It's not a comedy show. She goes through the court docs and stuff like that. She gets them, the ones, at least the ones on Steel Toe. She's a person. She said this. She is a person that goes out there and gets them for her. She's interested in it. Now somebody went and got hers. The view, like, how did you not know? You're the one person that should know how this is going to happen. RCC Collins just apologized. I don't know what I'm apologizing for. James Baumer, this is the first wrong thing you've said tonight. Now, this is a comedy show. But the bigger part of this is, wow, she's a liar. You want a compulsive liar as a friend? Wow. Friend of the show, obscure, confuse, blur, cloud, muddle, befuddle, complicate, conceal. Look, man, I think the work that she's done, I think the building of the channel, all that shit is fantastic. And I want to see that stuff continue. I wanted it to continue. I don't think this was the best way to do it. I will hopefully be proven wrong. And there we go, and that's it. But again, I don't think that what happened with Haley, the charges, the whole blah, blah, are a reflection on who she is today, right? Today, I think she's a great mom, does a great show, has a good career, all that stuff. No problem with that. If Haley chooses to not be my friend or think that I threw her under the bus, there's nothing really that I can do about that. If Pat thinks I'm a fool, again, nothing I can do about that. It is what it is. But I shall persist because that's what I do. Dude, James Baumer, you're doing it again, Schmuel. I have no idea what I'm doing, James. I wish you would tell me. I saw a Doomspayer in here. AB is probably right. His records are immaculate. Mine, are you talking about me? Oh, Buckman. Please read numerous comments again. He's taking it out on me. I am very, my record is clean. So everyone knows, no arrests, no crimes, no. There's still time, but as of today, I can say all of that shit is cool. Look at this $2 Dan for $1.99. Buck, I'm proud of you for your takes on Haley. Dan, I thought your takes sucked. I think calling her out was reasonable, but I don't think that we needed any of the additional stuff. So, but thank you for the $1.99. AB, you aren't sucking Haley's toes like Balmer does, Schmuel. I've never been a foot guy. And I love reels to death, but feet gross me the fuck out. Aussie guy. Can we go back to the list next time, please, Schmuel? You know, you never know what you're going to get on Schmuel Talks. So this was one of those. And to be honest, I kind of enjoy doing it. I've got no beef with Pat Dixon. It's all, what do you call it? It's all good, but he's going to say what he's going to say, and I don't want to stop him from doing that. And I'm going to say what I'm going to say, and I don't want him to stop me from doing that. I'm also not quite the wordsmith. I've used that word twice today. I'm not quite the wordsmith that Pat is, but I do think that there's a little bit of odd behavior criticizing me about how I feel on this and judging it, considering the multitude of karmic streams and fallacious streams and whatever that you did. And I know that when people said move on, well, when I said move on, you got mad at me and disagreed with me on it. But look at what's happened since you've moved on. So there you have it. All right. I got a couple of minutes. Anybody got any questions? And I will run through this. Tug Simp, Mr. Panhandler, why don't you grow up bitching about people, but a coward to say actually why? I don't think you can call Mr. Panhandler a coward. He's pretty in your face with stuff. And I will say that when Panhandler gets annoyed and he's got something going on with you, he talks to you about it. He's not hiding anywhere. Are you going to apologize, Schmuel? James, you tell me in a chat here in the next couple of minutes what it is that I'm supposed to apologize for, and I will read it. And if I think if it's deserving of an apology, I will apologize. Shit show, Balmert. Can you believe old omelet face blocked me? Schmuel stinks. You know, the only thing I've been annoyed about being blocked is Serenity now has me blocked on Twitter. And kind of annoying because I did have fun there, but I think he's arguing with other people. Shit show. I agree, but thank you for sticking with us. It's great. Serenity now is cry bullying Ishmael. I have that effect on people, i.e. the Merster. He is a coward. He's not saying why he's so pissed, acting like a child. A panhandler? Oh, I thought he let everybody know why he was pissed. But maybe I'm just, that kind of guy. And I have been asked to go on with Rob Saul and Nasty Neil tonight at 11. If I am awake and able, I probably will. And if I do that, I'll probably come back on and do some shit that I would dig. Panhandler, this is the CC, whatever his name is, guy. Panhandler goes on every show and pretends that he's annoyed to be there. It's kind of what makes him fun. But the one thing I will say about Panhandler is I do annoy the fuck out of him. So that's why we have so much fun together. Sure, Tug, I'm a coward, but also never spent 6 months in jail for slinging H. So there's that. It doesn't. What would you spend? Whatever. I don't know what that would be. But Pan just has, he definitely does get into fights with everyone, and so everyone annoys the fuck out of Pan. It's a joy. That's a part of the dab, right? We get there. Mr. Panhandler, you've been mad at Haley for months. Stop lying. Oh yeah, that's like not news. We all know about that, right? He's been complaining about Haley forever. All right. So all right, let me close and reiterate. I do not think that Haley's a bad person. I don't think Pat is not free to criticize me. I think Pat can fucking criticize me all he wants. It's okay. It's okay. It doesn't hurt. I'm a good. I'm a. If I couldn't take the heat, I would not be here in the kitchen with you guys. And whether these people still consider me a friend or not, that's up to them. And obviously, friends that we make here, not Pat, because I've known him for long before this, but look, friends that we make here, we don't get to see on a regular basis, so we don't know. And my level of friendship with some people here are people that I've met, people that I like, and liked them when I met them. But I've definitely had falling outs with people before. So there we go. James Baumer, 3231, are you apologizing or not, Schmuel? Once I know what I'm supposed to apologize for, I will do it. Well, Schmuel, at least you aren't Roche. Speaking of a man, speaking of clout, he's definitely the clout man. I hear Joey C is in the chat, but I'm not seeing him in my chat. So KB 103, real G's, movement silence, Buckman. They do. But we got a show to put on, and not talking about someone or something that's come up. Would that be? I don't know. Like if something happened with me, I think people would. What's the word? I think people would, go for it, and I would expect that they would go for it. And I've heard people who are quote unquote my friends say shit in the background and while I'm not around, then is very different than what they've said to me in person. So take that for what you will, but I don't want to be that guy. So we have done way more time than I thought I would. Nothing happens with Schmuel, and that's a fact. Exactly. I don't know what anyone would expect from this, but let's let Pat be Pat, and let's let Haley be Haley, and like, subscribe, and watch their shows. Bob Levy and Pat have been killing it. And I just what do you call it? As far as Haley goes, I just wanted her show to do well, and so I'm hoping that it continues to do well. So Diablo Samich, hope Schmuel comes back on. I'm drinking and having a good time jumping around the Dabbleverse. Well, Diablo, you may get your wish, but usually what happens is right now, as I'm finishing, I'm like, yeah, I'll be back on. It's not a big deal. And then an hour from now, I changed my mind. Pat is mad because he latched onto Haley to show what a great guy he is, and it backfired. I don't know. It's possible. I mean, they do have a great show together, and I don't know that it's backfired, but I certainly didn't hear a lot of defense there. So there we go. So I'm going to ask everyone to watch Pat tonight, and I've already sent him a pillow, so you don't need to do that. And I don't know what size the bed is, but high thread count sheets, kids. High thread count sheets. Pan, write Joey a crayon letter. It's about what Joey could read. So there we go. They both suck. And hey, man, I'm not the guy that believes in prayer or any of that shit, but Dave Sauer's father is having open heart surgery on Monday. So if you pray, put him in your prayers. If you don't, send him some good vibes. But even simpler, just send him a DM and tell him you're thinking about him. All right. So I am out of here except for this. Oh, look. Hold on. Tugs, I'm sick of people judging with half the facts. Tug, you and I are followers on Twitter. We'll pull this over to there. Joey accidentally hit the caps lock key. Okay, Schmuel, I tried. Vote for President Catalano in 2028. Maybe we'll move to Florida and register there so we can get him on the formal ballot. Tug Simp, it's going to be okay. Mr. Panhandler, they were pathetic, and you know it. But Tug, I got to ask you a question, right? And I really will end with this. Were you not disappointed even a little bit? And what can I say? I don't know the fucking guy. Oh. I think, bear with me. Bear with me for 1 sec. I want to, shit. Goddamn, I always hit the wrong fucking button. But let's scroll down here. Oh, I thought Joey C was live. Oh, it was 6:30, so he's probably long off. But I'm redirecting to one Kevin Brennan. So everybody say hi. Bye.